Spanish capital for live pictures from Valdebebas of Real Madrid's Monday morning training session ahead of Tuesday night's Champions League game in Group G. It's Victoria Pilsen in town for the reigning champions of the Champions League, 3 times now reigning champions Real Madrid, looking to hold on again to this trophy that is virtually theirs. 13 times winners, of course, over the history, and Julian Lopetegui there looking calm and relaxed with his players, looking forward to going into what is their competition. It's a big week, of course. Champions League on Tuesday, followed by Barcelona away next Sunday. But at the moment, all these players' thoughts have turned to Victoria Pilsen, who are due in the Spanish capital just about now, about the next hour, at the airport, which is just literally over the road, almost over the road. You can see it in the background from some games here from Valdebebas, Real Madrid's training headquarters on the northeast corner of the Spanish capital. Victoria Pilsen's squad will arrive at 12:25 Spanish time, just after 11 o'clock. So when these players are still out on the pitch, perhaps just finishing their training session, the Czech players come in and they'll be training tonight in the Santiago Bernabeu. The players coached by Pavel Rybra, and they've got a point in the Champions League from the first 2 games, a draw with CSKA Moscow, defeat against Roma, of course, the side that Real Madrid trounced on the first match day in the Santiago Bernabeu, and it'll be that kind of performance that these players will want to put in on Tuesday against the Czech side. Magical night last month in the Bernabeu when the Champions League returned and Real Madrid beat Roma by 3-0. That's the kind of performance Julian Lopetegui will be asking from his team. Things not going well over the last couple of weeks in La Liga, but there's no reason to believe that Real Madrid can't get through Group G quite comfortably and into the knockout round again of the competition that they love to do well in. And of course, with the final in the Spanish capital next year to be played in the Atletico Madrid stadium, then more reason than ever for these players to try and want to get there. There's a smiling Gareth Bale, who had 45 minutes on Saturday in the 1-0 defeat to Levante. 2-1 defeat, rather, of course, to Levante. And the talk in the Spanish capital is that we could see Gareth Bale starting. We could see the likes of Toni Kroos and Karim Benzema. All were rested on Saturday against Levante. All started from the bench, and it would be a welcome sign to see those 3 back. There is Benzema with Bale, players of great European experience, of course, and they, you would expect, if they are fit, should be ready to start on Tuesday. 9 o'clock kickoff in the Santiago Bernabeu. There's a lot of Czech supporters coming as well to follow their team. Victoria Pilsen sat second in the Czech league at the moment. They had a draw at the weekend, 2-2 with Bohemians in their own stadium, and maybe with just one eye on this tie, which is surely the tie that they were looking at when the draw was made. Real Madrid, 3 times reigning champions now of this competition. Victoria Pilsen and all their fans, the club, the players, everybody would surely have had this game in mind from the very moment the draw was made. The date, the 23rd of October, in their heads. Maybe it has affected a little bit their domestic performances, but they'll come to the Bernabeu looking to put in a good performance as always. and a big game on a big European night in the Bernabeu to come. There we see Isco looking in good form as well. He was back on Saturday against Levante, back from illness. Isco, Marcelo there back from injury. Bale and Benzema have had little niggles as well, so all the squad are available now for Julian Lopetegui except Danny Carvajal. He's the only player out injured at the moment, and these players don't seem too affected by what happened at the weekend. They know that football is gives you the chance to put things right fairly quickly, and that will be the mindset on Tuesday in the Bernabeu, and then all thoughts after that will turn to La Liga and Barcelona at the weekend. It doesn't look too bad at the top of the Spanish league, only 4 points separating the top 7 sides. A lot of inconsistency from all the clubs at the top of La Liga in the early part of the season, which makes for interesting battles at the top. Barcelona and Espanyol at top, Alaves at 3rd, Sevilla in 4th, Valladolid as well up to 6th in La Liga. So it's very interesting in La Liga, of course, but as we've mentioned, the Champions League is back, and Real Madrid love to put things right in the Europe's top competition. As the players move to the reduced size pitch for a game of, well, basketball if you like, or netball, or not quite sure what that is, just to get them moving and get the blood racing. Well, there you go, you can use your feet. Tony Cruz, not sure if that is in the rule, I'm not sure what the rules are here, but the idea of, I think you have to finish it off with either your head or a shot after the build-up with hands here, and it looks like a very enjoyable way to start a training session. Gareth Bale at the back post with the header there. I'm not sure if that counted, how many points they got for that, or what the score is. We're not quite sure what's going on here this morning at Valdebebas with this, but it's looking to mix things up a little bit and to put a smile on the faces of these players. Vinicius Junior there, I'm not sure how much basketball he's played in his time. He doesn't look to be too sure of the rules himself. Keylor Navas just standing at one side. I'm not sure if he's actually taking part in this. He is he? Yes, he is. He's waiting now for his side to get the ball over. Ball goes up and headed over the bar. Was that Sergio Ramos? Marco Asensio it was with the header, rather. So things are set here for the Champions League. The Santiago Bernabeu itself being decorated for this competition, for Europe's top competition, as we speak. And Victoria Pilsen are on their way from the Czech Republic. Everything getting ready for Tuesday night, 9 p.m. in the Santiago Bernabeu. You can follow all the build-up for that game on Real Madrid TV. Between now and then, we have programme looking towards that game, The Match, which goes out at just after 3 p.m. this afternoon, Spanish time. And also extra time, the usual Monday roundup of everything in La Liga as well, a little bit later on, and that'll be repeated throughout today and tomorrow on Real Madrid TV. The players enjoying themselves, and it'll be a light session after this, certainly for the players involved on Saturday. And just a case now with the games coming thick and fast of keeping things ticking over. Marcelo there, almost like a rugby kick, the way he put that up and over the crossbar. And well, I for one have never seen this one. Do a lot of training sessions here from Valdebebas. We've never seen this game before, but the players seem to be enjoying it as they prepare for Victoria Pilsen. Just over 2,000 Czech fans also arriving today in the Spanish capital. They'll be making some noise, I'm sure, as they watch their team take on Real Madrid for the first time in the history of the competition. And they'll be very excited as they make their way to Madrid. There was a training session on Sunday for these players as well, so no rest at the moment. Sure, they'll get a day off later in the week after this game against the Czech side, and then all attention will turn to La Liga. Sunday, 4:15 p.m. kickoff in the Camp Nou away to Barcelona. Doesn't really get bigger than that for these players who are used to these big games, big European nights and big La Liga derbies. And the pressure certainly won't be a problem for these players. That's for certain. A player like Marcelo there, who just seems to take everything in his stride. He seems to be enjoying himself out there, and he's going to have a bit of shooting practice before the next exercise. He didn't need any shooting practice on Saturday when he hit Real Madrid's goal. Well taken shot, and it's good to see Marcelo back in Madrid's starting 11. Vinicius Junior there training as well with the first team. He played for Castilla at the weekend, scored a beautiful free kick to level the game against Celta B. And well, will we see him this week? He has made his league debut against Atletico Madrid, coming off the bench. I'm sure he too would love to be involved in the Champions League. And we'll be hearing also from Julian Lopetegui after this training session. He may give a few clues about who is going to be involved on Tuesday, but you can expect some of those players coming back, especially Gareth Bale and Karim Benzema, who started on the bench on Saturday, to perhaps be given consideration for a start against the Czech side Victoria Pilsen on Tuesday. Again, well, the coach doesn't give too much away in these pre-match press conferences. Obviously doesn't want to give any advantage to the opposition, but he will be asked, I'm sure, about the fitness of Gareth Bale, of Karim Benzema. They both seem to be moving fairly well out there this morning. They've both got minutes at the weekend, so certainly positive on that front for them. And Marcelo, who played the full 90, and Isco also, who began the game. Four key players for Real Madrid who have come back, and maybe just take a little bit of time to see them at their best. But with a big week ahead, with those two games, it's probably a good time to try and get them up to that level. Marcelo and Bale in the middle there as the goalkeepers go through their paces on the other side of the pitch. Keylor Navas and Thibaut Courtois. And if things go as they have until now, it'll be Keylor Navas who'll be taking over as the Champions League goalkeeper. But again, I'm sure Julian Lopetegui will be asked about that situation, the goalkeeping situation, in the pre-match press conference, which will be bringing you at around about 1 p.m. Central European time in just a few hours' time after this training session. In the background,